Alright guys, welcome back to another movie review. This movie review is Hulk 2003, directed by Ang Lee. And a funny story about this film. It's one of the earliest superhero movies I ever saw, and the story behind it is that when I went over to my babysitter's house, she had this movie, and every time I watched the film, I never had the chance of finishing it because it was always time for me to leave. I always started the movie, sometimes I got to the middle, but I could never quite make it to the end. So, about like 10 years ago, I got this movie on DVD and I finally watched it. And I'm giving my review of Hulk. And I thought the movie was good. I have some issues, but I don't hate the movie like other people do. So the story, we kick off with Bruce Banner's father, David Banner. Apparently, he's conducting some type of science experiment. It's an illegal experiment. Apparently, he's experimenting on himself, and his son, General Ross, finds out about it, and he fires him. So then David Banner, he rigs his laboratory to blow. He goes home, and apparently he kills his wife because he was trying to protect Bruce Banner. David Banner, he thought that Bruce was dangerous. He had some type of mutation, and some chaotic scene happened. So then, we wake up to modern times. Bruce Banner, he's working at a research institute at a university with uh, Betty Ross, and apparently he's doing an experiment on gamma radiation. The experiment goes wrong. There's an explosion at the facility, and that is where he becomes the Hulk. So at first, you're not really going to see a whole lot of changes with him. He does have a temper in the movie. I think Eric Bana, who portrays Hulk here, does a good job at reacting to someone being exposed to gamma radiation and then becoming the Hulk. So then, the military, General Ross, he finds out who Bruce Banner really is. In the movie, he goes by the name of Bruce Krenzler. And then Ross finds out his last name is Banner, and his father's name is David Banner. And they're both working in the same field of research. David Banner was locked up for 30 years, and General Ross warns Bruce to stay away from Betty. He also warns Betty. And then when Bruce Banner becomes the Hulk, the military has to chase after him. Not only that, his father reemerges, and he wants to reconnect with his son Bruce and see, how's Bruce doing? What is he like? And so it just becomes a giant cat and mouse game of, you know, um, Hulk chasing Betty, the military, and David Banner chasing after Bruce Banner. So then we get to the end of the film. We have a confrontation between Bruce and his father. His father apparently experimented on himself too. I think it was the self-absorbing man. I think that's the villain in this movie. And Hulk ends up fighting his father at the end. And then at the end of the movie, near the credits, Hulk hides out in South America. Now, what I like about this movie? First, I like the Hulk. He's bright green and he wears purple pants. It's a classic take on Hulk. I like it. I like Nick Nolte, who portrays David Banner in this movie. Um, to me, he's very menacing. He's very threatening. He's very scary. Like when I was a kid, that opening scene of Hulk, it did terrify me. Like seeing Nick Nolte, getting up close to people, whispering in their ear, going crazy. This is what you expect from a guy who's been locked up for 30 years, trying to reconnect with a loved one. He's gonna act crazy. He's gonna be threatening. He's gonna be menacing. Um, so I like Nick Nolte. I like Eric Bana. As far as my issues with this film, as far as the oh yeah, another thing I liked in the movie, it was the scene between Hulk and Talbot. I love seeing Hulk, beating up Talbot. That was kind of funny. It was cool to see. My issues with the film, as far as the first hour, it's pretty solid. They laid up the Bruce becoming the Hulk pretty well. But after that, the movie just stops. It's like the director kind of didn't know where he wanted to take this movie. The final hour of this film is just a cat and mouse game. Hulk chasing Betty, military chasing Hulk, and then you have the ending scene, which was pretty cool. Another problem I had with the movie is the flashback. There's a lot of flashbacks in this movie. So there's the opening scene, you have some stuff in the middle, and you don't really know what's real and what's not real. The opening scene, did David Banner really kill Editha Banner, Bruce Banner's mother? We don't know because Bruce wakes up and he's having a nightmare. So is that opening scene real or was that just a dream or a nightmare? And we never really got any type of clarification on what happened. So the flashbacks was kind of my issue with the movie. The slow pacing was one of my issues after Bruce Banner becoming the Hulk. I never really liked General Ross chasing after Bruce Banner. I don't really know why they have to chase him. Leave the guy alone. I've never really understood why Ross needs to go after, uh, Bruce Banner. Just leave him alone. And I was watching some reviews, some YouTubers pointing out, the transitions, the comic style transitions that are in the film. They are a little bit annoying. I didn't really notice them at first, but yeah, I think Ang really wanted this film to be like a comic book movie, but on the big screen. But those transition scenes, they can annoy you if you let them. They're a little bit weird, but I appreciate what it was doing, but I don't know if they were really needed. Another criticism this movie got is that it had a lot of dialogue and a lack of action, and that is true. This movie does have a lack of action. You don't really see a lot of Hulk action scenes. And there's a scene with Talbot, there's a scene where Hulk is fighting the Gamma Dogs, and then there's the end of the movie. But that's about it. This movie does have a lot of dialogue. I think that this movie could really cut out some of that dialogue, but I also think that a lot of this dialogue was important in setting up the film and Hulk's past and how Bruce Banner is going to deal with the Hulk. But as far as this movie goes, it's not bad, but it's not great either. I think it's good. It's not really an action-packed movie I would watch on a Friday night, but if I was bored, I didn't really have anything to do, I could probably watch Hulk and find some enjoyment out of it. This is one of the earliest films I saw as a child, so I do have great respect for it. But that is Hulk. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's good. It has some issues, but I think the film at the time did what it needed to do. This film does have a lighthearted tone, and this was pre-Dark Knight. And a lot of comic book films were kind of corny, kind of cheesy, kind of cartoonish, but I don't mind the lighthearted tone. It's a classic tone. I appreciate the classics. I like the Hulk design, but I give the movie 8 out of 10. Like I said, the film did what it needed to do, and that is bring Hulk on the big screen. But that is the Hulk review.